Well, hello, welcome back. It's raining, it's winter, damp, old car. You can see leaves on the window. But what this is all about today, behind me in the trailer, is I don't know if you can call it a project but you can call it a new buy. And they say that the first million is the hardest, and it's a little bit the same with when you're buying classics. The first is always the hardest, and then when you get to know a model, something comes up, easy pickings, because you have a rough estimate what is the worth of it and what are the models. So yeah, I went and bought something locally today. Let's see in a minute. So the weather changed quite quickly the other day when I brought it home, so it's off the trailer, and let's see what I have bought. It's a 1965 Velo Solex 3300, assembled in Denmark locally, not locally where I live, but locally in Denmark. It was sold as a older restoration, has been standing for some time. The seller was not the guy who had done the work. Apparently it was a trade-in on a car. So yeah, sometimes I trust in people. No, kidding. Of course you should trust in people. I think it sounds plausible. But what older restoration in this case means is, well, yeah, is a do-it-yourself paint job. But hey, it's okay for the price I paid. Clearly it has gotten a new handlebar because the chrome is way too nice. The paint here is, well, yeah. It has gotten new tires as well. Definitely hasn't got new wheel studs because I have already lost one. So the wheels are a bit tired, but it could be worse. You get what you pay for, but yeah. I don't really know much about 3300s. The other ones I have is 38, but well, I guess it's a 3300 because it says so. But yeah. Oh, and the seller says that it can only run for 300 meters. Apparently it doesn't pick up fuel, so I'm gonna look into that, starting with the fuel pump. But yeah, couldn't resist it. Quite locally to me, so yeah. If you like a Velo Solex, why not buy another one? Is what I meant by the first million is the hardest. It's the same with classics. Once you have one or have one previously, it's a lot easier to buy another. It's not sane in any way. I'm not saying that, but when you know your models, or well, I don't do in this case, but you know what I mean. It's a lot easier to buy one more. So yeah, I'm looking forward to playing a little with this, and then I might sell it on. But let's dig into it. Oh yeah, right now the sun is shining, but look at all those leaves. Look at all the water. Yeah. And maybe, I don't know if you can hear the water dripping from my roof. It's not a great time of year for being a classic enthusiast. But hey, it will turn around again. But I forgot one thing. One of the really cool things about this, actually, buying this gave me a bonus experience. Where I picked it up was an old carpenter shop, and the guy who lived there, he had his own bicycle and moped repair shop for 50 years, and it was really cool to see that old workshop and listen to his stories, because he was a Puch and Kreidler dealer back in the day. So yeah, sometimes you just gotta ask and yeah, breathe in the experience that you meet on your way. So actually that is what I'm going to remember when looking at this moped, is the story I got from him. So yeah, I'll give you the picture from his garage. Well, it was raining outside, so I decided to see if I could find the running issue. I haven't really tested it yet, but the seller said that it would only run if he gave it a little petrol directly in the spark plug hole, and then it would run for 300 meters. I think it's the fuel pump. So I just revisited Seppo's small video on fuel pumps, and another one I have forgotten. I'll mention it in the link. I found two issues. I do think that the back plate was the wrong way around. It's supposed to have the concave against this so it can move, and the flat side against the engine. But more importantly, I think one of the small glass balls in here was not moving. Since I don't have any spares at the moment, I just tried giving it some brake clean, because clearly this has been messed with during the, what shall I say, renovation of the moped. So I think it's just because it has been standing. One other small thing, I didn't really know what the difference was between a 3800 and a 3300. Then I have read online that it's supposed to have the same engine block as the previous 2200, and guess what? It says 2200 here and 3300 there. So I'm guessing it's a correct engine for the moped. And one other thing I was puzzling about, why did we want to paint this? And that's because this is actually metal. On the later ones it's plastic. So I guess this is my first Velo Solex with a metal tank. So another thing, I thought that it must be a city guy who has restored this moped, because he has put a brand new lock on the back and comes with 2 keys. But now I know for sure we got ourselves a cafe racer, because I am pretty confident that we got ourselves a yellow headlamp bulb. So you take a yellow headlamp combined with white sides, I think they were white, and you put a lock on it. It's a cafe racer. I'm sure about it. So, well, now I'm gonna reassemble it and see if my quick fix has done it any good. So, see you. So, a small update. Today is first day, but yesterday, Wednesday, I had time for a little work, and let me turn the camera around. Just to illustrate what I did, I had, as you know, worked on the fuel pump before. I forgot to say that I also tested if it wasn't blocked from the fuel tank, simply by spraying with a little liquid. And now I remember what the video is. It was from Solex Steel, a Dutch guy who sells parts. Not a great video, and I used that and the one from Seppo, where he changed the small glass balls and the diagram. It's just nice to watch a video like that, because then you know exactly what to do instead of breaking something. So I realized that the fuel pump was now working, still wouldn't run, but I could see the fuel in the return line quite easily, so I know that it got a lot of fuel. Then I checked that this was clear, the air jet, and down here it was clear. I took out the, what do you call that, the needle. Look at where my finger is. That was clear as well, and I used brake cleaner for those two. And when I put it back together again, it will run for 100 meters. And I thought to myself, that would be because the brake cleaner is ignites so good that those few drops that were left simply made the moped run. I thought so. Before I looked at the bottom of the carburetor, I would simply change the fuel. So I used I needed it to be quickly. I had other things to do, so give me a second. Weather is still extremely wet and crappy, but I used that siphon. If you don't have one, great tool. So I used the siphon pump. It's just a hand pump where you squeeze it to draw out the old fuel. So I didn't need to take it apart because it's a metal fuel line down below. So I drained it, so there was only as little as possible. Put on an extra, a fresh liter of fuel that I had already pre-mixed. I had it installed for my Trabant. Yeah, it's almost the same mixture, good enough for me. And then I took it for another test, a quick test, and guess what?